Okay. ओपन हो गया. उदिलो अरुणा पूरब भागे द्विजमणि गौरा आमनि जागे. उदिलो अरुणा पूरब भागे द्विजमणि गौरा आमनि जागे. भगत समूह लोइया साथे गेला नगर ब्राजे. ताताए बाजला को गन गानाता है जजेरा रो. बाजला को गन गानाता है जजेरा रो. प्रेम ढाला ढाला सोना रंग चरणे नूपुर भाजे. चरणे नूपुर मुकुंद माधव यादव हरि बोले ना बोलो रे वादना बोरी. मुकुंद माधव यादव हरि बोले ना बोलो रे वादना बोरी. मीछे निदाबा से गेलो रे राती दिवस शरीर साजे. निदाबा से गेलो रे रात दिवस शरीर साजे. हे मान दुर्लभ मानव देह पैया की करो भावना के हो. मान दुर्लभ मानव देह पैया की करो भावना के हो. ए बेना भाजिले यशोद सुता चरमे परी बेलाजे. यशोद सुता चरमे परी बेला. उदित तपन होइले अस्ता दिन गेलो बोली होइबे व्यस्ता. बोली होइबे अस्ता उदित तपन होइले अस्ता Dinagelo boli ho hibe vyasta. Dinagelo boli ho hibe vyasta. Tabe ke no ebe alasa ho. Nabajar daya raje. Ke no ebe alasa ho. Nabajar daya raje. Jivana nitya jana hasa. Tahe nana vida vipada ba. Tahe nana vida vipada ba. Jivana nitya jana hasa. Tahe nana vida vipada ba. Namashraya kari jatane tumi takaha panakhaje. Namashraya kari jatane tumi takaha panakaje. Jivera kalyana sadhana kam jagate asiye madhuranam. Sadhana ka jagate asiye madhurana. Jivera kalyana sadhana ka jagate asiye madhurana. Jagate asiye madhurana. Avidyati miratapana rupe hridagagane biraje. Avidyati miratapana rupe hridagagane biraje. Krishna nama suddha koriya pan Jurao bhakati vinoda pran. Sudha koriya pan Jurao bhakati vinoda pran. Krishna nama suddha koriya pan Jurao bhakati vinoda pran. Koriya pa Jurao bhakati vinoda pran. Nama bhina kichu nahi ko aro Chaudha bhuvana maje. Nama bina kichu nahi ko aro Chaudha bhuvana maje. Kichu nahi ko aro Chaudha bhuvana. Can read translation, Prabhu?
When the rising sun appeared in the east, the jewel of the twins born Lord Gaur Sundar awaked, and taking his devotee within him, he went all over the countryside, town and villages.
The mridanga's call resounded that tathai tathai, and the jajhas, kartalas that look like small cymbals. In that kirtan played in time, Lord Gauranga's golden form slightly trembled in ecstasy love of Godhead, and his footbells jingled.
All the devotees chanted the names of Mukunda, Madhava, Yadava, and Hari, their mouths being filled with the vibrations. They would announce to the still sleeping people, "You have spent your night uselessly sleeping and your day decorating your bodies." You have achieved such a rare human body, but you do not care for this gift. You remain not serving the darling of Yashoda and slowly fall through your last moment to death.
With every rising and setting of the sun, a day passes and is lost. Then why do you remain idle and not serve the Lord of the heart?
This temporary life is full of various miseries. Take shelter of the holy name as your only business.
To penetrate the darkness of ignorance and bless everyone's heart, the holy name has risen like the shining sun.
Drink the pure nectar of the holy name. There is nothing but the name be had in the 14 words. It has filled the soul of Sri Bhakti Vinod Thakur.
Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So today we will be discussing about Srila Prabhupada Lilamrta from Srila Prabhupada Ramadana. Welcome everyone. So we'll chant prayers. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Nama Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Sha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Śrīmade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Śrīmade Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine Śrīvārsabhānavi Devi Dayitaya Kripadeye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayine Prabhave Nama Madhuryo Jala Prema Jaya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dina Tarine Rupanuga Viruddha Siddhanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshad Vairagya Murtaye Vipralamba Rasambode Padambu Jayate Nama Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virba Bhumestvam Nirdeshna Sajjana Priya Vaishnavam Sarvabhumo Shri Jagannadayate Nama Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Vahevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Nama Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratise Nama Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Jaitam Surato Pangor Mamanda Matergati Matsarvasya Padambujo Radha Madana Mohano Divya Vrindaranya Kalpadhrumada Srimad Ratnagara Simhasanasto Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Preshtalipi Sevyamanas Marami Srimad Rasarasaram Bevam Shibada Tadasita Karshan Venus Viner Gopi Gopi Gopinadai Shrestuna Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Just 1 minute. Okay, so today we are welcome everyone to Srila Prabhupada Lilamrta class. So we are reading from Srila Prabhupada Lilamrta, chapter number 9, Resident of Vrindavan. The front page article in the November issue was Truth and Beauty. An editorial in the Times of India speculated on whether truth and beauty were compatible, had opined that truth was not always beautiful but often ugly and unpleasant. Abhay disagreed. Truth is so beautiful that many sages, saints, and devotees have left everything for the sake of truth. But we are habituated to love untruth from the time immemorial in the name of truth. So Prabhupada was giving a comment, a critical comment. So they, in some Times of India editorial, they wrote an article about truth and beauty. So Prabhupada was giving comment about that. They were telling that truth and beauty were compatible. And they are telling that truth was not always beautiful but often ugly and unpleasant. Then Prabhupada is telling that truth is so beautiful that many sages, saints, and devotees have left everything for the sake of truth. So Prabhupada was speaking here about absolute truth, that Param Satyam. Can you give me a phone, Prabhu? Anandashni, can you give me a phone? There is a verse in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam where demigods, when Krishna was in the womb of Mother Devaki, so the whole, means her whole body was illuminated and the jail atmosphere, it got full illuminated, and then the demigods were praying to Krishna about his qualities. They were saying that, Krishna, you are Satyavratam, Satyaparam, Trisatyam, Satyasya yonim nihitam cha satye, Satyasya satyam ritasatya netram, Satyatmakam tvam sharanam prapanna. So what they are telling is, you are Satyavratam, means you never deviate from your vow. If you take a vow, you will never deviate from that. Satyavratam. And Satyaparam means there is no absolute truth beyond you. So there is no absolute beyond you. You are the topmost absolute truth. Satyaparam. And Trisatyam. Trisatyam means you are absolute truth before creation, during maintenance, even after annihilation also, you will remain as a absolute truth. So there it won't be any change. So what do you mean by this absolute truth? What is the meaning of this? Anyone? What is the meaning of this? We call Krishna as absolute truth. What is the meaning of this absolute truth? And then what is relative truth? Okay, that's one of the quality of it. So what is the definition of absolute truth? It comes in the first canto, first verse of Bhagavatam. Satyam param dhimahi. You raised your hand. What is the definition of absolute truth? Any guess? devotees here? Absolute truth. Supreme absolute truth. We say from whom everything emanates. So absolute truth means he is a source of everything, from whom everything emanates. That is the definition of absolute truth. So Krishna is considered as supreme absolute truth because from him everything emanates. Janma jasyataha. So that word means it's absolute truth. So here when Prabhupada was telling that truth is so beautiful that many sages, saints, devotees have left everything for the sake of this truth. So what Prabhupada is referring here, truth means absolute truth, that is Krishna. So because for the sake of Krishna, there are so many sages, saints, devotees have left everything for attaining this absolute truth. But we are habituated to love untruth from the time immemorial in the name of truth. So what is the best example of a person who has left everything for the sake of this absolute truth, especially absolute name, holy name? Is there any personality who had everything but who left everything for holy name exactly? Das Thakur. Okay. Huh? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, yes, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, yes. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if you see in his life story, that he was very popular in West Bengal, in Nadia, in that Mayapur area. He was very much popular, and he had a school, and lot of disciples, followers were new followers were coming, and he was becoming quite popular. And then he goes to East Bengal to meet Tapan Mishra, and then he comes back. He get lot. I heard that he gets lots of money from there, and then he comes back, and then he already had a very nice, beautiful wife, and he had defeated what is his name? He defeated the Keshav Kashmiri. Keshav Kashmiri was a well-known Pandit all over India, and he defeated Keshav Kashmiri. After defeating Keshav Kashmiri, his fame has distributed at least all over India. Everyone knows him. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nimai Pandit. So at that time, Nimai Pandit was having everything. He was having a beautiful wife. He was having money also. He was having fame also. But what he did, he gave up everything. He gave up everything and took sannyasi. Why? To preach the glories of holy name, this absolute name. So that's why we can see from the example of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that for the sake of this truth, for the sake of this absolute name, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left everything, and his whole life he spent in distributing this holy name. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madhav ki, Jai Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Jai Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Mahesh Darshan ki, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. And why it is called absolute truth? Because it never changes. It remains as it is. That's why truths of this world, we should not take it very seriously. Why? Because the truth which is right now, it can in future, it may not be true. The truth of this material world, the so-called truths of this material world is, we should not take it seriously. Why? Because right now it is truth. In future, it may be true or it may not be true. Just like if you see Miss Universe, for 1 year they will think that they are like real beauty of this whole universe. But in the next year, I think every universe they change, right? Every year they change. So next year, the shame that she has to remove that crown and she has to put it to another person. That means you're forced. You are telling that you are no longer beauty. Your beauty has changed in 1 year only. So like that. So the truth of this world, it remains. It changes all the time. The so-called relative truth of this world. But the truth, the absolute truth, the absolute name of Krishna, the absolute Nama, Guna, Rupa, Leela. So they are absolute. They never change. Their absolute nature never changes. Here we are hearing from this bhajan that Krishna Naam Siddha Kori Juravo Bhakati Vinoda Pra Nama Bina Kichu Nahikaro Chauda Bhuvana Vaje. What is meant by that? There is nothing to be achieved in the 14 planetary systems other than the holy name of the Lord. Why? Because it is absolute name of the Lord. And whatever the potency Krishna has, everything is in the holy name of the Lord. And if we see in this verse that what demigods were praying, that you are Satya Yonim Nihitam Cha Satya Satyasya Satyam Mrita Satya Netram. Satyasya Satyam. What is meant by Satyasya Satyam? Means you are the truth than the truth itself. Satyasya Satyam. So what is meant by that? Out of all the relative truths, you are the absolute truth. Means the so-called truths of this world, they are like incomparable in front of the real truth, which is you. Rita Satya Netram Satyatmakam Tvam Sharanam Prapanna. And you are the original truth, and you are the original of everything. You are the origin of everything, and everything which is pertaining to you is absolute truth. That means your Satchidananda means your body, that is also absolute truth. Your body, your glories, so your paraphernalia. So whatever is connected to Krishna, whatever is Swamsha of Krishna's, everything is absolute. So that's why this demigods are telling, let me offer obeisances upon to you. Ramru Prabhu says that this is the greatest verse of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. That is his opinion, but he says that this is the best verse from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. One of the best. Okay, there are a lot of verses from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So that's why this truth is so beautiful, absolute truth is so beautiful, that many sages, saints and devotees have left everything for the sake of this truth. But we are habituated to love untruth from time immemorial in the name of truth. So that is the biggest illusion of this world, that we think that we love something which is untruth and thinking that it is truth. That is illusion. Abhay agreed that however mundane truth and the beauty were incompatible. Okay, the mundane truth and the beauty of this world were incompatible. Means they never compared with each other. Not only was mundane truth not beautiful, it was not truth. Means mundane truth is not beautiful also, and it is not truth also. And mundane beauty was not real beauty. To explain this, Abhay told a story. I think we all know about this story, okay? Liquid beauty. So mundane beauty, whatever the so-called beauty we see in this world, it is not actually the real beauty. That is false beauty. To explain this, Prabhupada told a story. What Prabhupada tells? Once a man fell in love with a beautiful girl who tried to resist the man's advances. When he persisted, she requested that he wait for 7 days, after which she would accept him. So when a man was forcing a girl that I want to marry you, I fell in love with you, please marry me, like that he says. So then, she tells that you wait for 7 days. After 7 days, you come back to me. Then we will decide, like that she says. So during the 7 days, what this girl does, she kept this purgatives, purgatives and laxatives, and repeatedly passed stool and vomiting. And she stored the refuse in buckets. Thus the so-called beautiful girl became lean, thin, and like a skeleton, and turned blackish in complexion, and the beautiful eyeballs were pushed into the sockets of the skull. So her whole complexion has changed. Even she became into black, and she became very thin, and her beautiful eyeballs went inside the skull, sockets of the skull. So and after 7 days, this man again he appeared. He appeared well dressed and well behaved, and asking the waiting girl. So he was not able to recognize that girl only. The girl was standing in front of him, but still he was not able to recognize. And and she was even who was depressed in appearance. So that girl was very morose. The man could not recognize the waiting girl as the same beautiful girl whom he was asking for. The same girl, however, was in a pitiable condition and the foolish man, in spite of repeated assertion, could not recognize her. So the man was telling, that girl was telling that I am the same girl which you saw 7 days before. But the man was not accepting. I cannot accept you. You are looking very beautiful before 7 days, but right now you are looking like an old woman. So it was all due to the action of medicine only. At last the girl told the powerful man all the story of her beauty and told him that she had separated the ingredients of her beauty and stored them in the reservoirs. She also told him that she could enjoy the juices of beauty and stored in the reservoirs. The mundane, poetic or the lunatic man agreed to see the juices of the beauty, and thus he was directed to the store of the loose stool and liquid vomit, which were emanating unbearable and bad smell. Thus the whole story of beauty liquid was disclosed to him. So the person, though she tells that whatever the beauty which I was possessing 7 days before, I have stored everything in the buckets, and you have got full freedom to enjoy them. So you can go there and you can release that warm things and stool of me. So when the person goes and he opens the that cap of that bottle, he gets so much of bad smell and he runs away from there. So the people who gets attracted to the so-called beauty of this world, so what happens to them? They are like this man. That's why a lot of we see that people love at first sight and divorce at first sight. Why there are a lot of divorces happening? Because they get attracted to the so-called beauty, and after marriage then they will understand their real beauty. Then they get divorced. So Abhay went on to ascertain that the literatures which do not describe the ultimate truth and beauty of the Supreme Person was no better than the stool and vomit, even though it is presented as a poetry and the philosophy. He's telling that the literatures which even describes the so-called truth and beauty of this world, of women, of the so-called politics, everything, they are just like a stool and vomit. We know that sloka from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Nayadvachas chitrapadam hare resho jagat pavitram pragranita karhi tadvayasam tirtam ushanti manasa nayatra hamsa niramanti usikshaya. Sukadeva Goswami only tells that sloka. Sukadeva Goswami, Narad Muni. Yes, that is a samvad from Narad Muni and Vyasadeva. So where Narad Muni, he tells that even though there is a beautiful descriptions, but if there is no glorification of the Lord Hari in that glorification is just a pilgrimage for the crows, Vayasam Tirtha. Just like people nowadays, people go to so many cinema halls, so many different places. Nowadays people are crazy after movies. Why? Because they see that so many dialogues, so much of action happen, so much of romance, all these things. But it is completely nonsense. Why? Because there is no glorification of Lord Hari. So that's why that place is considered as a Vayasam Tirtham. What is meant by that? It is a pilgrimage for crows. So whatever you see, this cinema halls, what else? Cinema halls, malls, brothels. So whatever attractive, so-called attractive things in this world, they are just like a vomit and stool, and they are like the pilgrimage for crows. So, and the saintly person, last verse comes, Nayatra Hamsa Niramanti Usikshaya. Means the saintly persons who are like swans, they never go to that place. And they are always satisfied by hearing the glories of Lord Hari. So that's why who is a devotee of Lord Krishna, he never go to such type of places, which is a relishment for crow-like people. If you want to become crow, or if you are searching after stool and warm things, then you can go to such type of places. Okay? So that's what Narad Muni is telling. In standard morality, Abhay explained, morality is a standard of activity by which the supreme authority is satisfied. The scriptures contain moral codes prohibiting unholy sex relations, animal slaughter, intoxication and gambling. Abhay attributed Mahatma Gandhi's success as a public leader to his observance of these moral principles. So Prabhupada was telling that Mahatma Gandhi was success, at least for some time, that because he was following all these 4 regulative principles. Abhay also praised that Vedic system of marriages. After the attainment of puberty, a woman wants a male, and if she is not married within that time and allowed to mix with the boys, it is quite natural that there is every chance of fall down, either by the boy or the girl. So that's why in previous ages, not in previous ages, even this at least 20-30 years before, at least in India, people the girl used to get married very early actually. Puberty means as soon as they reach like 16-18 years of age, they were the woman was she used to get married. Why? Because it is very means it is very risky when she comes to that type of age, means attraction increases. She gets attracted to man. So there is a possibility of, there is most possibility of like she may get attracted and she may leave the home. So all these things may appear. So that's why in Vedic culture, the woman was married very early. And if you see in like Prabhupada's mother, like when Prabhupada's sister, when she reached a certain amount of age, she told to her husband that if you don't get married, if you don't get my daughter get married, then I will go into the river and I will commit suicide. So like that Prabhupada's mother was telling that if you don't get my daughter married, because she reached puberty, I will commit suicide, like that. So at that time the situation was like that. Women were well protected. Like there is no question of there is no free mixing of women and men. So when the woman is in the when early age, she is protected by father. And when she reaches puberty, then she is given marriage to a man, and then she is protected by the husband when she after getting married. And then in the olden age, she is protected by the elderly son. So that's why she is always protected. Why she is always protected? Because she needs protection. Women always needs protection. And this Vedic culture never allows free mixing of men and women. They never allow. Prabhupada says that men alone they look good, women alone they look good, and if they mix, then that is not good for society. This hippie revolution is all because of free mixing of men and women. As soon as if we allow the mixing of men and women, they commit all the nonsense. So root cause is this illicit affairs. If we allow them to mix men and women, then automatically when they mix, they do all kind of illicit sex, and then drinking, all this, they break all the regulative principles. The starting is illicit sex. That's why when Prabhupada, he went to Western countries, so they were telling that, Prabhupada, we can, here in America, they can follow all the 3 regulatory principles, but not this one, which is illicit sex. That is very difficult for us to give up. We can give up meat eating. Even though it is very difficult, we can give up meat eating, gambling, or even intoxication also. But giving up this illicit sex with women or illicit affair, it is very difficult for us. Prabhupada said that, I came for not cheating you, I came for liberating you. So so that's why you have to follow all these 4 regulative principles. Even though, and this is such a important one, that if you break this one, you'll automatically break all the regulative principles. Despite changing social conditions, Abhay argued, you cannot indulge in unholy connection with the opposite sex because the social conditions have changed. Because unholy connection with women is the beginning of all immorality. So we say that now we became modern. We are in modern world. So what is the wrong in free mixing of men and women? But that is the beginning of all immorality. We see that issue of in Bengal also, this woman, because they got a lot of freedom, and I heard that she stayed in the night hole, and there is no protection, and some men came and they did all this nonsense. Because of that, so much of chaos is happening. So all this is because society now, they think that women empowerment, they say, no, women empowerment. Actually, this women empowerment is started by not women. Actually, it is started by men. Why? If the men, all the lusty men, they thought that right now woman is very much secure in the hands of father or husband or like elder sons. If we introduce this women empowerment, then the woman will come out. Women will come out of their protection, and then she will freely roam in the society. So then we can easily cheat them. So much of cheating happens, with women, and they sometimes they are innocent and they get trapped. So Prabhupada further continues, in Scholars Deluded, Abhay presented a critical view of Dr. Radhakrishna's edition of Bhagavad Gita, citing specifically the 34th verse of 9th chapter. Which is that verse? 34th verse of 9th chapter. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyajimam namaskuru ma vevashyati uktevam atmanam madparayana. Manmana madbhakto madhyajimam namaskuru. Wherein Lord Krishna declares that one should always think of him and become his devotee. And what Dr. Radhakrishna, Sarvepalli Radhakrishna, he says that, he had commented that it is not the person Krishna to whom we have to give ourselves, up utterly, but the unborn, beginningless, eternal who speaks to Krishna. So he is speaking about some Brahman, some impersonal Brahman which has entered Krishna at the time of battlefield, and he is speaking through Krishna. So he is speaking of impersonal philosophy. But actually, so there is nothing inside or outside Krishna. Everything is Krishna only. You cannot say that something is there inside Krishna, because Krishna is absolute. Krishna is everything actually. And there is nothing like unborn, because Krishna himself is unborn. Aja. Krishna is, one of the name of Krishna is Aja, which means unborn. He is a beginningless. What is that? Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidan Anadir Adir Govinda. Anadir means he has no origin. Means he has no beginning. He is a beginningless. He has no beginning. Anadir Adir. Adir means he is the origin of all. Sarva Karana Karanam. He is the cause of all causes. So these impersonalists, they never want to glorify Krishna. They always deviate. They always search for they always wants to, even though it is Bhagavad Gita, even though Krishna himself is speaking, still these impersonal philosophers, they try to cover it up. They try to change the philosophy or change the perspective. Sometimes they say that this Krishna controlling these horses and Arjuna, they say it is like the human body. Like the soul is Arjuna, like that they say all these things. That horses resembles the senses, and that war is like a mind. So this is all speculation. So with speculation, with so-called speculation, we can never come to the conclusion, or we can never surrender to Krishna. So Prabhupada says that although the obvious meaning of Bhagavad Gita was that one should surrender to Krishna, the Supreme Personal, the impersonalists like Dr. Radhakrishna obscured the direct meaning with their world jugglery. Most of the literatures, right now also, most of the literatures are impersonal philosophy only. Most of the literatures which they distribute, which they, whatever we see, this Swami, Ramakrishna, they all propagate this philosophy only. This Vivekananda also proposed this theory only. And most of the people, whenever they speak about spirituality, they speak about this theory only. Even they speak about this in IITs also. These people, they go to IITs, IIT Bombay, IIT Delhi, they speak about this impersonal philosophy. And lot of people, they get misdirected from the real truth. That is, we are supposed to surrender to Krishna, but we are surrendering to something else, some impersonal Brahman Jyoti. On the disappearance day of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Abhay keenly felt separation from his spiritual master. He perfectly understood that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's instructions were more important than his physical presence, and that, in fact, the spiritual master was present within his instruction. In this way, Abhay had always been with his spiritual master. So always, rather than Vapu Seva, Vani Seva is more important. Instead of, so that's why we should take the instructions of the spiritual master as life and soul. That's why even though Srila Prabhupada was feeling so much of separation from the spiritual master's personal presence, but still he was happy that at least he got some final instructions what he is supposed to do about printing books and preaching the philosophy in the Western countries. Yet on this annual day, Abhay could not help feeling lost. He remembered that how in 1932 he had been a Grihastha and a new disciple. At that time, he had not been free to do as much as service as now. Yet it had been in those years he had been able to see his spiritual master, offer obeisances before him, eat the remnants of his prasadam, walk beside him, hear his voice, receive his personal glance. Although Abhay thought of their meetings together. So Abhay was, Srila Prabhupada, he was, at that time, he was remembering. So this was around 1959, 1960 at that time, when the disappearance day of Prabhupada. It happens in that time only, right? January and December. In that month happened disappearance of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So Srila Prabhupada was remembering about his spiritual master, that how even though at that time he was Grihastha, but in 1932 he was getting the close association of that his spiritual master, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that he was able to offer obeisances to him, and he was able to hear from him. He was able to he was able to even get the remnants of him, and walk beside him, hear his voice, receive his personal glance. And how powerful had been Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's mission. His presses had been running day and night, printing magazines, books. Once disciples, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's disciples, they commented that you are running this printing mission whole day and even night also. And this printing mission was there in that Bagh Bazaar, and it creates a lot of sound actually. In the night they used to sleep, and they complained that why to run in the night? In the morning we can run, why to run in the night? So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that this noise of this printing machine means it is kirtan. It is like kirtan. And these publications will reach all over the world. This is like Brihat Mridanga. If we do kirtan, it will be heard for some limited period only. But this noise, whatever the noise we are hearing from this publication will reach all over the world. So that's why this is necessary. That's why they used to run these printing machines all over day and night. And this book daily, Nadya Prakash, and Europe had been a promising new preaching field. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he sent his sannyasi disciples to even Europe also to preach. With Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati at the helm, the Gaudiya Mutt had entered into the battle against Maya's forces, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta had made all his disciples unafraid. Abhay had always been eager to serve his spiritual master, to serve within the Gaudiya Mutt with its headquarters in Calcutta. But actually how he would serve had never been clear to him until his last letter from Srila Prabhupada, from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. At that time he was not getting any proper instruction, but at the final he was even having doubt, what should I serve, how can I serve, how can I please you. Then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, before also he gives instruction that if you want to please me, print books. And the final 1932, also at the time when Prabhupada writes in a letter that I couldn't serve you, your sannyasi disciples are taking care of you personally, but what are your final instructions to me? At that time also Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that you go to the Western world and preach the cult of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and whenever you get money, print books. So that was the last instruction given by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was present at that time, the Gaudiya Mutt was like flourishing like anything. It's mentioned that from Himalayas till Cape Comorin, like what do you say that? Southern tip, Kanyakumari, that whole area Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was preaching everywhere. And all the different missions, they were like fearful of this Gaudiya Mutt. He was pouncing like lion, and all these atheistic people and so many politicians, they were inspired by this mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of this Gaudiya Mutt. But as soon as Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur disappeared, then the whole Gaudiya Mutt fall down. That we will hear in the next Ekadashi. Okay? Do you have any questions from today's discussion? We have 2 minutes. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, when you leave everything for the absolute truth, you also become absolute truth?
We become servant of absolute truth.
When you leave everything for the absolute truth, you will also become absolute truth?
We can never become absolute truth. We become a part of absolute truth. We become part and parcel. Our eternal identity is always servant of the Lord, servant of the absolute truth. So we become connected back to this absolute truth. So speaking absolute truth, it becomes like more impersonal. We can say about like Krishna. We can, instead of using absolute truth, we can use the word Krishna. It becomes more connecting, more personal. This impersonal people, Mayavadi people, they speak about this Satyam. They Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram, all this. They speak about all these things. It's very bewildering to the mind actually. If we hear them, we get convinced that whatever they are speaking is truth, and then we get carried away. Rather than using absolute like truth, we can use word Krishna. It becomes more clear. So when we leave everything for the sake of Krishna, then what happens? Krishna will take us home back to Godhead. We go to Vaikuntha Loka. We again come into his companions. We again get his association. Like that.
That means it is in the relationship, right?
Our relationship. We again we have lost our relationship. Again we'll again establish our real relationship with Krishna. Again we'll get connected to Krishna. Actually, the connection is never lost. We got forgotten about our relationship. So when we again remember, when we again come in contact with Krishna consciousness, again we'll what we say, this Arjun says, Nashtamoha Smritir Labdha. So our illusion goes away, and then we Karishye Vachanam Tava. We'll follow whatever Krishna says. We'll again go back to Krishna. Like that. Would like to add more?
When we leave everything means what is ours in this world? Isha Upanishad says, Ishavasham idam sarva, everything belongs to God. So what is there to mention that something is ours in this world? There is nothing ours, even our own body is made up of matter, panchabhutas. It's not our, we have not created any of these things. So Krishna is proclaiming that it's my energies. So there is nothing that we live. There is no question of we live, it's everything is Krishna's. We are given, so we are again using it in the service of the Lord. So that is the perfection of life.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Any more questions, Prabhu? Any comments, questions, queries? Okay. Śrīla Prabhupada Lilamrta ki jai. Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai.